Good morning. So I feel like there's a new era. It's been different these last few days on the twin flame journey has been different. I feel like there's more of a knowing that the whole journey is about my own rising, about self, and not in an egotistical way, rather in a way of, it's exactly the opposite. It's in a way of letting go of the ego and rising into the soul purpose. So rising into myself, being my own best version of myself. It's like, I get these with the twin flame. The twin flame journey is like an allowance. Let's say it is something that allows me to do the work much easier and quicker and reflectively. It shows me all of the places that I need to do the work, where I need to, where the places where I'm still holding. It's not really, it is kind of doing work, but it's kind of paradoxical, because at the same time, rather than doing the work, it's like letting go of having to do anything. So it's doing the work of not doing any work. So it's doing the work of finding the places that you're holding and shifting and allowing these places to let go and dissipate. So it's kind of, it's a paradox, just like all the holes that we find. You have to come all the way back around them. So it's an entry point into the new world. The new world is the world of, is wholeness. So it's coming into a wholeness in myself and rising into my own power and bringing the focus all back on me. And it feels, there is a feeling of complete. See, as we rise and as we enter, there is a shift that happens, and we slowly are shifting into the new world. So as the changes are happening within ourselves, we get more and more clarity of what this new world is and the magnificence of the new world. And it's like living in heaven and earth. It's living in a completely different plane than we have previously lived. So it's like pulling yourself out of the matrix into this place of wonder and bliss and peace and knowing and faith and trust and divine guidance and letting go of control. But then at the same time, it's letting go of control, but also taking responsibility for what is yours to take responsibility for. So it's rising into your own power and letting go of your need to control at the same time. So you become a powerful being and a knowing being and a trusting being and a calm being. And it's coming into the now. So I'm getting this, and the words that I'm getting are coming in glimpses. It's a passing over into the new world. And with our twin, you know, when we're all caught up on the twin, then we're caught up in the 3D. We're caught up on a body. We're caught up on something that is not illusional, because it's all real. So this plane, this 3D plane that we live in, is the plane where everything gets expression, where everything comes into the 3D to give expression to whatever is born out of the other realms. So everything that is in the other realms, this is the only place that they can actually come in and get a physical expression in the physical world. And everything, all of the different dimensions have expression on this plane. So light, dark, energy, matter, time, expression, life, everything that is, it gets an expression in this physical world. But this is like the last, everything that is here was already created. This is the world where, of everything that was already created. And there is a much larger, broader plane, but it's not one plane. It's many planes and many dimensions that are the dimensions in which everything comes from. So when you start realizing this and you rise into these higher dimensions as a being, and you realize that this is just the physical expression, whatever is here already is. And potential is way larger than what is. So the majority of humankind now, in these times, are playing in creating with what already is. So they're taking matter and moving matter around and creating within matter. And that's what we were taught to do. That's what we weren't taught about. All it, look, the bees, I can just hear them humming behind me. We weren't taught about these higher planes. So it makes us, because we are connected to all of these higher planes by nature, then it also makes us kind of schizo, because we can feel these higher planes, but we're taught out of them, and we're taught only what is here in the physical plane is real. And if you really think about it, it doesn't make sense at all. I heard Dr. Wayne Dyer. He's a good teacher. He was, I think, my first spiritual teacher that I really listened to, and he really opened up the world of spirit to me. And one thing that one of the talks that he gave, he was talking about a friend of his who is a neurosurgeon. And the neurosurgeon, when he opens, he knows that there's thoughts. He knows that people think. He knows that he thinks. I mean, there's proof of it. But when you go into somebody's brain and you cut into it, where are all the thoughts? You can't see them, but you know they're there. So you know that there are these other planes where things exist that aren't apparent in the physical world. I mean, the proof of it is just right there. We have the proof of it in ourselves. And so we're taught out of this in school. So we go through life with a lot of insecurities and misconceptions, and we don't understand things. And, there's a lot of cloudiness around our own beings, and we're trying to get out there in the world and get stuff in the physical plane. And the majority of humankind are creating from within this limited, it's like there is unlimited potential in the world if you can tap into these higher realms of which creation comes from, of which we come from, and we are connected to always. And when you can clear all the clutter out of your mind, then you can, and that's the work. I was saying work, but it's not really work. It's more like just letting go. And when you can clear all of that out of your mind, then you are connected automatically. And when you can come into the now, that connectivity will lead you into the right place that you need to be. So when you are in a complete state of flow, which is coming into the now, when you come into the now, you collapse all the timelines. When you are in the now, you are pure presence. And when you are pure presence, then you're out of your brain. You're not in there thinking, we have this magnificent, magnificent brain that we can use to store memories. We can use to think about things and project our future and decide and make decisions and love people. And we can do, we have this magnificent brain and learn new things. But we are not our brain. Our brain is for our use on this plane in this life, and the way that I see it is that the chokhmah, like the wisdom, is coming into the present moment and just being present, which means you're looking outside of yourself. So you are experiencing what is all around you, and you are aware of all of the wonders of nature that are around you, because everything around you is an expression of creation. Everything around you was created. Everything around you already exists in the physical form and is some kind of magnificence. Even the trees, they are an expression of what is. They are a creation. In the physical world. They are potential expanded potential. And I see it as like flowers of the universe. Everything that is, came to be, is magnificent, is a wonder, is absolutely perfect, exactly as it is. Even with all the flaws that we see as humans, they're not flaws. They are the natural way, the natural flow. Even the things that we are caught up in our own mind and we're like, oh, but I'm not in sync with this, and I'm not in, but that is perfect, because you have to be out of sync to find your sync. And that's part of the expansion, because everything is an expansion. Everything is an expansion. And as long as we're in expansion, we are, that's what gives us satisfaction, is being in expansion. If we were just standing in place and we got there and there's nothing left to do, I mean, what is the point, right? What are you going to do if there's nothing left to do? There is no satisfaction in that. So you have to have the contrasts. And when you realize this, you can tap into these higher realms from which everything comes. Then the options in your life become vast and limitless. You can expand as far as your imagination. And everything in the universe, everything all around us is for us to use. Everything that already exists is an inspiration, is to build on top of. It's like I was saying, everything is in expansion. So everything is built on, just like knowledge. Knowledge is built on knowledge. So the first automobiles, all of the automobiles today are built off of expansion from the first automobile. So everything that is around you can give you contrast, first of all, to see what is, and also inspiration and knowledge of where you can go and what you can't. But it's not to limit you to whatever is already in existence, because the more we can expand with our imagination and our thoughts, the broader we can make our world. So, passage into the new world. Passing into the new world. And then in the new world, it's simply becoming a pure expression of yourself without all of the falsity and false beliefs that are on top of it. And it's not rigid, it's soft. Everything is in a flow. So when you let go, it's not something that you have to work at. You have to maybe work at, you can't enter into the new world. The entrance into the new world is on purpose. You have to know, you have to purify yourself, and in order to purify yourself, you have to do shadow work and become aware of yourself and really pay attention and want for it and trust and all of these things that you have to put into your consciousness in order to do the passing over, because otherwise you're just on automatic. So you have to actually work at taking yourself off of automatic. But the flow into the new world, it happens with ease and with peace, and there is no effort in it. Once you're able, there's effort in letting go of past traumas. You have to go through them. But the entryway into the new world is just by flow. And you enter completely naked. You enter completely vulnerable. You enter without any shells on you. You enter wide open in trust, knowing that you're supported and that the world loves you and that everything, and that you are perfect just the way that you are. And with pure self-confidence, which is not above or not below. It is just as is. So the entry point into this place is by pure flow. And the shifting is a shifting that happens gradually. And the further you get the further you get along, or the further into the new world you glide, you can see the contrast. I mean, it's enough that you go to the supermarket. Go to the supermarket and meet people and talk to people. You can see where you are and how far you have come. I'm saying this because yesterday I was at the supermarket and I had a conversation with somebody, and you can really see just how far you have come. And with this passage into the new world, it's kind of like a responsibility of, once you see something, you become responsible. Once you have a knowing of, there comes with it a responsibility. And on this spiritual awakening, this path, and this process, you get to a point where the next step on this spiritual awakening is bringing other people with you. That is the natural next step of it. There is nowhere else to proceed to without spreading the joy. And because you are in constant expansion, and that is your natural way of wanting to be, your soul wants to expand. When you get to this point, it's kind of, there's steps along the way, and you kind of have to jump up the steps. And when you get to a step, sometimes it's scary to do the jump, even though that is the natural next step, because you haven't been there before. So there is a place where you get to where you have to kind of bring others with you and share. So I think that is also, that you could also call it like the wounded healer. Somebody has already gone through so many wounds and have overcome them, and to where they become an example of that, a teacher of that, and they can lead others out of or into the new world. Okay, so I'm getting back close to home. This is a good day. This is a good day. So thank you for watching, and hit subscribe, and have a wonderful day.